My name is Spencer Graham. I'm with West Virginia University Information Stations in Morgantown, West Virginia. For us, when we first created the WVU Information Stations, the original Digital Signage Expo that we went to was in Chicago at the Navy Pier. And I can honestly say that us attending the Digital Signage Expo saved us tens of thousands of dollars by the time it was all over with, because number one, we didn't know what digital signage was at that point in time, and so we were able to do a great deal of research. We met some wonderful vendors that we still use today. We see the Digital Signage Expo as a great investment annually for my team, because we're able to come here, see new technology. Of course, we do a lot of research throughout the course of the year, and we already have planned out who we need to see once we're here in Las Vegas, and it just continues to pay dividends for us year after year. We wouldn't think of not attending the Digital Signage Expo. In fact, I had the opportunity this morning to present in one of the sessions, and it was predominantly on building a digital signage team and network. And one of the things I told them is they've made the best decision by attending the Digital Signage Expo this year, because they can shortcut their research and development so much, and the money that they spend to come to a Digital Signage Expo, it just pays dividends that they'll make 5 times the money back by the time it's all over with, by simply coming and not having to try and do all that research on their own. They have everybody right here. We have over 100 digital signs across our 3 campuses in Morgantown. Every digital sign that we have carries in the background lurking an emergency message that in the event of an emergency we can notify our over 45,000 students, faculty, and staff that we have a problem. Fortunately, we haven't had to do that very often, but it's always there, and it alerts our campuses within 10 seconds that we have a problem. So obviously that's very important on any campus. So I was able to talk to the group this morning. I was amazed at how many first-time attendees were there and how many people were there doing research for digital signage. And I told them, I said, this is a great opportunity for you to save a tremendous amount of money in your research and development by being here. And it was a very good group. They had lots of questions, and that made it fun for me to be here as well. When we created our digital signage network, unfortunately, in some ways, came into being on the morning of the Virginia Tech massacre. We received a call from the Office of the President and we were seeing all this unfold on television. And even though it was 500 miles away from us, it was making an impact, and we knew that we needed a digital signage network to alert our campus audiences there to keep them safe. We were charged to create this network, to staff it. I was made the manager of it. I was already the manager of an interactive video network for the university for adult education, but they put this under me at the moment there for that. We were charged to hire one extra person. Well, we didn't even know what digital signage was at the time. So, and we had 6 months to get it up and running with 10 digital signs. Well, now we have over 100 digital signs 5 years down the road. We hired an IT person, and that was very helpful because of all the infrastructure behind the network. Within a month, we decided we needed another person, and that was our content creator. Because it's one thing to have a digital signage network up and running, but it's another thing to keep feeding it with content daily. And our campus clients are the individual colleges that make up the university: College of Business and Economics, the Engineering College, Physics Department. They're all our clients, and we meet with them to see what their needs are, what kind of messaging they want to promote their areas, and we create content for them. We look for certain economies of scale in how we create that content. I work out of the University Relations Division, and that's sort of the marketing and PR arm of the university. In there we have WVU Television Productions, web services, we have news and information, trademark and licensing, photography, creative services. So I have the ability with a small staff to be able to sit there and cross-platform our content with other divisions or with other departments in our division. So when somebody is creating web content, I sit there and say, don't forget us, make sure you make us some of your designs to put on the digital signage as well. That way we have a continuity with our messaging across our different departments there. We help the other colleges with some of their designs. When they need something, we sit down and meet with them to see what kind of messages they want out. In our current loop of information, we give a site-specific, let's say it's the College of Business and Economics. They would have probably 70 to 80% of that loop of information that would be site-specific for their college, and probably anywhere from 20 to 30% of the generic WVU messaging that we want to get out. There are things like the athletics division, and things like arts and entertainment that is pertinent to no matter where you are on campus. So we look for those economies of scale to utilize other designers there, and that way it makes it fun to come to work every day. Yes, it was that, and we were very, very blessed by having administrators that, number one, saw the value of digital signage and the ability it was to not only provide an emergency messaging platform that could alert our campuses within 10 seconds of a problem, but to have the institutional branding there in front of that vast audience every day, 45,000 people a day moving back and forth in front of all the digital signage there, are being immersed in a good message of West Virginia University. So they saw the value of that. Our biggest challenge is not creating content or finding the resources to do. Our biggest challenge is throttling growth. We're at 100 digital signs now. We started with 10. 5 years later, now 2 weeks ago, we launched our first wayfinding application. When we get back, our first large video wall will be installed, and we'll be lighting that up. So we're excited about that. That's at our Visitors Resource Center, which is our main recruiting portal for students that are coming to West Virginia University and their parents. So we see the administrators really buying into the concept that they are able to message so many vast audiences. It's very timely. They can change their message within a minute, as opposed to if you go to something with print media, like our Alumni Magazine, that may be a 3-month project from the time that they start writing the articles to the time it's mailed out. Well, sometimes those messages are now either older or stale, but we can change our message instantly. Yeah, and it makes it fun, and our administrators have been so wonderfully supportive of us. They're coming to us saying, okay, what's your next trick? How are we going to leverage social media? How are we going to... So it works out wonderful for everybody. I would love to. I would love to do that. I appreciated very much the opportunity to be able to present here today because I love digital signage, and I think that certainly colleges and universities are probably a very good and lucrative market for digital signage vendors. We certainly have taken advantage of the good relationships we have with our vendors and come to rely on them very much, because when you're dealing with emergency messaging, failure is not an option. It's got to work, and we never create content or make any significant changes to our network that we first don't try it offline in our what we call our sandbox there to make sure it doesn't blow up the emergency messaging, whatever we've done here, before we release it to the general network itself. And so those vendor relationships we've come to rely on very much, and I think it's a huge market. Yes, and it's constantly growing, and we look forward to that because we do research throughout the course of the year in anticipation of attending the Digital Signage Expo so that we can sit down with those vendors person to person, and we have our questions written out that we want to get answered, to be able to put names and faces with vendors, and that relationship is critically important to us as an end user, because I know that from the relationships that we've been able to make here over the course of the years with Digital Signage Expo, that I can pick up a telephone and I can call these vendors if I have a question or if I have a concern. And oftentimes they'll do a lot of the research and development for me to where it shortens up my time to market with whatever it is we're wanting to phase into our network there. So it's just a tremendous opportunity for us here. We see a lot of new technology or when we phase our projects, we usually phase them either for a specific site on our campus that we want to expand some digital signage into, let's say another building or another college, or it might be a technology such as wayfinding or a video wall or directed audio. To us, one of the big things that we have spent the last couple of years and we're starting to deploy on a regular basis now is directed audio, because a lot of our digital signage is situate in hallways that are near classrooms or a reception area or even in student dormitories. So you need to be able to focus that audio to where it's not offending the people that live there all the time there. So that's been a great opportunity for us to learn about that particular type of technology. Well, it's huge for us because, you know, we try not to overuse audio in our digital signage content loop, simply because we're very sensitive to where people are situate to the speakers. And for us to be able to punch a cone of sound into a tight area to where if you step off axis, they can't hear it anymore. That makes our life a lot easier, because there's a lot of, because we can't use audio as much as what we would probably like, it allows us to put it into a focused area. Otherwise, we have to really visually, heavily brand the content that doesn't have audio. So, you know, we try and use a mix of audio there, but really we probably, I would say, use audio maybe 10-15% of our loop, simply because of where we are, especially in the dormitories. The students don't like, when you're going 24/7, 365, they don't want to hear that at 3 o'clock in the morning, so we schedule things like that. I'm Spence Graham with the West Virginia University Information Stations. I'm here at the Digital Signage Expo. Sign up, sign on, it's all here.